We're tracking the breaking news out of Minnesota. The police officer who shot and killed an unarmed black man resigning today, along with her boss, the local police chief. This is the first measure of accountability for the shocking and quick killing caught on tape. A warning, this excerpt may be disturbing.
You're not doing that. Don't you take stuff, bro. Don't do it.
Tensions now high in Minnesota over that widely deemed avoidable killing of Daunte Wright. This is what we're seeing right now at Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, 5:01 p.m. local time. That area is bracing for another night of gatherings, of protests. After some clashes last night, we can tell you there is a curfew in place. There are 2,000 National Guard troops already on the ground. There's intense interest around the nation. We've tracked protests, gatherings, and other political events in major cities like New York, Seattle, Kansas City, and Los Angeles, all responding to that tape that's gone around the world. Today, the mayor also held a 40-minute press conference announcing taking full authority over the police department, firing the city manager, and also setting aside time during this presentation, during this tough time for the community, to bear witness to emotional pleas from within the community.
You wrap your arms around your kids every day. Every day. I'm going to need you to wrap your mind around it. I'm going to need you to get in tune. I'm going to need you to put your boots on the ground and act like you care about black, brown, and indigenous bodies.
I want to speak with you directly about what we're seeing, what we're reporting, what we have here tonight. If it feels like another march through a familiar and tragic American ritual, that's because it is. It's another video of a police approach that reflects clear escalation towards an unarmed black American, resulting in a death, a killing. And then it's another quest by what are now to many familiar advocates calling for a fair investigation, calling for justice. We heard from Ben Crump today. He has been busy representing, of course, George Floyd's family in Minnesota. Now he's taking on the Wright case as a civil rights attorney. And as I refer to this ritual that we go through, that we live through, he was noting what we know. This new case begins just miles away from another that has not even been resolved yet.
10 miles from where the Chauvin trial regarding George Floyd was taking place, that a police officer would shoot and kill another unarmed black man.
Listen!
It's something that if you told me and I didn't see little Daunte's face and his grandmother crying, I wouldn't believe it.
We begin our coverage tonight with Cedric Frazier, a member of the Minnesota House of Representatives, vice chair of the Public Safety Committee, and a former public defender. Another Cedric Alexander, the former chief of police in Georgia, former member of President Obama's policing task force, and a Black Lives Matter and civil rights activist, DeRay McKesson. He's co-founder of Campaign Zero. Good evening to all of you. I could start with anyone. DeRay, I'll start with you because, as I mentioned, it's all too familiar. It's familiar to communities that have been living with this for decades and generations. It is perhaps slightly more familiar to a wider set of Americans after last year, a certain political class, as these issues have gotten a bit more national attention. But your thoughts as we go through this again tonight?
Yeah, so here's the thing is that we look at the numbers and the police killed more people in 2020 than almost every year of data we have except for 2018. This is relentless. In 2020, there were over 100 people killed at traffic stops by the police. And there's a new study that just came out that showed that black people are more afraid of being killed by the police than being victims of community violence, of crime in their own communities. So this is just another reminder. And what happened in Brooklyn Center is also a reminder that the police kill more people in the suburbs than almost all other communities combined. It's like the hidden place where the trauma is so real. I'm reminded that Ferguson's the suburbs, right? That this is actually happening all over the country, and the police, even in 2021, have killed already over 200 people. This is just the first story to capture the national attention.
Representative Frazier, you're nodding.
Yeah, I think what DeRay, good to see you again. It's been a long time. I think what DeRay is speaking to is absolutely true. I'm his vice chair on our Public Safety and Criminal Justice Reform Committee, and what we often hear from those that want to stand in the way of police reform is that this is an inner city issue. You know, this is a big city issue. It's not an issue that impacts us and for our instance, greater Minnesota or in rural places or suburban places. But the fact of the matter is that just isn't true. They're killing unarmed Black people and unarmed people everywhere and everywhere in any state. And that's something we've got to come to a realization for, and we've got to have some reform to fix that.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.